Alright, what up you schmucks? This story I'm about to cover is probably the biggest VTuber drama of 2025. I'm not gonna go over everything in this document because this entire situation is a clusterfuck. This is just one document out of the many other documents that came out after this, all of which expose Sinder and Red for being a piece of shit. I'm gonna go over the main points just so the video isn't too long. With that being said, let's get this shit rolling. So a VTuber by the name of Sinder just got herself into some really deep shit. For context, Sinder was a very popular and well-respected VTuber by many. That was until a popular artist by the name of Nanoless came out with this document saying that she will no longer be working with Sinder. To give you an idea how popular Nanoless is, she created models for some of the biggest names in VTubing, and Sinder was one of her clients. This model you see here was drawn by none other than Nanoless, or Nano for short. So in the document, Nanoless talks about her experience with Sinder and her manager, Redacted, or Red for short, and how they're very deceitful, manipulative, controlling, hyper-competitive, etc. To sum it up, Sinder and Red wanted to work with Nano again. However, because she's very popular, she has many clients that also want to work with her. Sinder's manager steps in and tries to persuade Nano to gain her exclusivity by giving her more work opportunities and complimenting her work, while bad-mouthing her other clients to make them appear more problematic. One of them being Bao the Whale, a VTuber who was close friends with Sinder until this document dropped, saying that Bao had stole Sinder's YouTube editor and overworked him, constantly picking up artists that they want to work with, barking up the tree with one of their live 2D animators, and guilt-tripping others to get her way. This was all for the sake of brainwashing Nano to make sure she wouldn't work with anyone else other than Sinder. And in conjunction, he also devalues Nano's work, that creating more models for others diminishes the value of her art, making it less special. I'm gonna be real for a moment. As a digital artist myself, reading this shit genuinely pissed me the fuck off. A person's art is an extension of their identity. It takes years of time and dedication to be as talented as Nanoless. Having a digital art career is something I aspire to have, and the fact that these losers are degrading her work gets me genuinely heated. I feel so bad for Nano that she has to deal with these ungrateful fucks. But moving on, all this happened while Nano was working on Bao's new model at the time. Nano didn't want to cancel Bao's commission, but Red told her that she shouldn't have to worry about Bao because she has many connections, which is a pretty insensitive thing to say. As you can tell, this slimy individual is willing to sink deeper than Kim Kardashian's asshole in order to have Nano all to themselves. Even though Red is mostly doing the talking, a lot of it falls under Sinder. This person is supposed to represent Sinder, so the fact that she's allowing him to speak ill of her quote-unquote close friend really says a lot about Sinder's character. It's honestly disgusting that she's willing to sabotage her friend's career in order to benefit herself. She's so paranoid with others being a threat to her brand that she and her manager were willing to pay Nano more just so others can't commission her. Now I understand needing to have a competitive mindset to some extent to make it in any competitive market like the VTubing scene, but the thing is, Sinder is already successful to the point where she doesn't need to compete with anyone. Not to mention, you can succeed without kicking other people down. I'm sure many of the people you look up to didn't have to sabotage or betray their friends to get where they are. Heck, even I became a YouTube partner, and I didn't have to do any slimy shit in order to get here. I didn't have to throw people under the bus to get where I am today. I didn't have to gatekeep or sabotage people's careers in order to become a YouTube partner, so there's just no excuse for Sinder's actions. She didn't have to be a piece of shit, and yet here we are, seeing her gatekeeping Bao from any business opportunities with Nano. Speaking of Bao, after she saw this document, she made her own document talking about her feelings on the situation. In March 2024, she commissioned a live 2D model as a subathon goal, with Nano as the artist. Bao was excited and showed a sketch of her base model in the group chat that Sinder was a part of. Then one day, Nano all of a sudden cancelled her plans because she didn't have the physical or mental capacity to continue. Obviously, Bao was really sad and told her friends about the bad news. All of them comforted her, except for Sinder. She was just dead silent. At the time, she didn't know why, but fast forward to now, and it all makes sense. I'm sure you can understand how devastated Bao must have felt when she learned that someone she cherished as a close friend was raping her VTubing career behind the scenes. Sinder saw Bao as a threat to her personal brand rather than a friend. Bao had no clue any of this was happening until Nano's document came out. For her to suddenly find this out must have felt like her world was crashing down, and Bao was just one out of many victims that Red and Cinder fucked over. Cotton was also one of them. Understandably, she's very disappointed in them as well. A VTuber by the name of Spite was constantly being harassed by Cinder's community. They kept comparing her design with Cinder's and falsely labeled her as a copycat, when in actuality, it was the other way around. Whenever Spite had a new outfit, Cinder would always pop up with the exact same concept, and yet, Spite was still being labeled as a copycat by Cinder's community. There's also an ASMR tuber by the name of Neon Tails that also got fucked over by Cinder's community back in 2021. She made a cuddles with a lonely hellhound ASMR, and people thought she was ripping off Cinder. You got this loser telling her she's cringe, and you can see that Cinder and Red liked this comment as a way of endorsing harassment. It's absolutely disgusting ass dog shit. Lastly, there's a censored name in Nano's document, who we later find out is Silvervale, who came out with her own document talking about her experiences with Cinder. They barely knew each other, but the few times they did interact was awkward and uncomfortable for Silvervale. She got the vibe that Cinder only wanted to connect for the sake of climbing the social/content ladder. Silver kindly rejected Cinder's offer, saying that she didn't want that kind of relationship, where she would have to fake a friendship for the sake of growing her brand. Silver then talks about her time at TwitchCon 2023. Silver had a meet and greet and was getting ready to pack when suddenly Cinder comes out of buttfuck nowhere to chat with her. And while that was happening, someone took a stealth photo of the two of them together. This was done without Silver's knowledge or consent, and she didn't know about this until Cinder posted this on Twitter. After the meet and greet, Silver was contacted by her manager, saying that Cinder wanted to collab with her. Silver politely declined again, saying that she prefers not doing collabs, but accepted Cinder's friend request on Discord for rejecting her offer before. Cinder then reached out to Silvervale asking to collab, ranging from sponsorships, merch, music, etc. Silver politely rejects her again, making it clear for the third time that she's not interested in transactional relationships. Then Cinder's manager tries to persuade her, telling her to get along and to think of the marketing potential in all caps. As you can see, they're very persistent on working with Silvervale, despite being told multiple times that she doesn't want to have a business relationship with them. These people are thirstier than dehydrated motherfuckers in the desert, and you want to know what these motherfuckers did? They were so pissed getting rejected by Silver that they sabotaged one of her projects. Silvervale had a live 2D model in the works for her birthday, with Nano as the artist. She was looking forward to it until Nano suddenly canceled her commission, saying that her manager told her to cancel most of her commissions due to health reasons. However, that was a lie. The real reason was because Red and Cinder kept pressuring Nano to cancel it. After Silvervale found this out, she was understandably heartbroken. It's beyond fucked up that Red and Cinder took away opportunities from so many content creators. With so much controversy surrounding Cinder, it led to her firing Red as her manager. It's pretty short, but there's a lot you can read from this, which will reflect in Cinder's later apology. For one, the first thing she mentioned is Red. Notice how he's the main focus of this tweet, even though she's just as guilty as he is. Second thing, of all times to call out your manager for being a piece of shit over the years, it just happened to be right after getting called out by Nano. It's clear that Cinder threw her manager under the bus as a scapegoat in order to avoid accountability. And you know what's even funnier? According to this person, the manager is also her boyfriend. So basically, Cinder used her partner as a meat shield in order to save her own reputation. How fucking poetic is that? Not only is Cinder willing to betray her friends, but she's also willing to throw away her boyfriend down the shitter in order to save her own ass. Like, I know this guy's a massive loser and shit, but goddamn, his girlfriend uses him like a fleshlight. Bro was sucking her dick hard as shit, and yet he still got thrown to the side. You gotta admit, this guy's loyalty to his partner is impressive, but the same can't be said for Cinder. And it's not just because she threw this loser to the side. According to this Rain individual, Cinder was cheating on Red with this guy years back. She was venting embarrassing details about her relationship with this guy, and sharing intimate messages and photos with each other. The main takeaway is that Cinder has no loyalty when it comes to her relationships, which greatly reflects on her actions, as well as her apology, which is dog shit by the way. It's mainly just her directing blame onto her boyfriend/manager, and lying that she had no idea he was saying all this terrible shit. This apology was so piss poor that so many content creators were taking a fat juicy diarrhea all over it. But I would say the hardest hitting response was Shylily, who absolutely obliterated Cinder right in the G-spot, calling Cinder the fakest person she had the displeasure of supporting, and ratioing her into the Shadow Realm by a fucking landslide. You know you fucked up when you dragged Shylily into drama, one of the funniest and kindest people on the platform, and someone I had the pleasure of meeting at Offkai Expo. Not to mention, both of them are co-owners of Gamersupps, so for Lily to slam dunk on her own co-worker in front of millions of people shows that she ain't fucking around. But yeah, that's basically the whole story. I'm confident that Cinder will never achieve the same level of success as before. Honestly, I don't see Cinder or her boyfriend coming back from this. Many viewers aren't going to watch Cinder, knowing how much of a scumbag she and her boyfriend are behind the scenes. Cause why watch her when there are far better VTubers who deserve your love and attention? And if you're a content creator trying to find connections, you'd have to be unbelievably butt-fucking retarded to work with them, knowing how much of a scumbag they are behind the scenes. There's zero value in engaging with them in any way, shape, or form. Cinder has no problem throwing people under the bus, and that's why people don't feel sorry for this bitch or her boyfriend, because they didn't have to put themselves in this situation. Cinder was already successful and loved by so many people. There was no rhyme or reason for her to do this, and yet here we are. It's funny that this easily could have been avoided if they weren't such a piece of shit, but they willingly chose to make every bad decision and created the worst timeline for themselves. It takes a special level of retarded to have this much success only to throw it all away. That's like winning the fucking lottery and then blowing it all on drugs. Their downfall was a choice. Again, you don't need to sabotage your friends or kick others down in order to succeed. There are so many content creators that made it big without being a slimy piece of shit. But in Cinder's case, she chose to be what she is, an actual bitch from hell. She chose to betray the people who cherished her as a close friend, and now they're finally facing the consequences of their actions. But enough about these losers. Most importantly, I just hope that anyone associated with Cinder and Red is able to find closure from this situation. Many of them have silently dealt with their bullshit for years, and it's great that they finally have an opportunity to speak up. And I'm sure a majority of her fanbase is disappointed in her after learning this information. It's exactly how I felt when my Oshi turned out to be a piece of shit. Hopefully the Powerpups can find new Oshis that can make up for the one they lost. In conclusion, fuck these guys. That's the video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like and sub to the channel. I'd see ya.